Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday to ya. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I am your co-host, Trey Holiday, and I want to extend a very, very happy Friday to my co-host, Big O. Happy Friday, my friend.
This is a Friday that is well deserved, Triana. What a week. Literally, thank God it's Friday. And it's Feel Good Friday here on the Morning Update Show.
That's right. We all need to feel good at the end of the week. I'm going to go ahead and raise my hand and say, please give me the feel good energy, my brother.
All right. Well, most everything today is lots of feel good to it. Man, we've got Kel from 92.5 Movin FM. And also he's the producer of the Truly Unruly podcast. You remember we had the True Fonts on here earlier in the week, and they just laid it out when they were talking about Black love. Kel's going to be talking about Truly Unruly and also what he's been up to. He's programming a lot of great music over there. 92.5. We got the big fella in the building, my big brother, Chukundi Salisbury. The elections are over, so we go back to calling him Cutting Love. He's got his new comic book that's out. It's called Little Big Fella. I mean, clearly he's the big fella. Also, we got the crew from Shelterfest. Who's coming in here from Shelterfest today? Cosmo and Lorenzo, they're coming in from Shelterfest. Shelterfest is this weekend. SABJ is this weekend. Truly Unruly is this weekend. It's a lot of good stuff. And speaking of that, I gotta hit this real quick before we jump into everything. Man, if you haven't got your ticket yet, please go. This is tomorrow. It's live. Joyce Taylor is coming right here to Converge Media Studios. So, we're over here cleaning everything up, making sure it's extra spiffy for Joyce Taylor. You can go to Eventbrite. Just put my name in. Tickets are $10. And the proceeds go to the general fund there at the SABJ. That's the Seattle Association of Black Journalists. It's all about uplifting Black journalists and Black voices in media. It's going to be really dope. Me and Joyce Taylor are sitting down for 90 minutes, and we're going to chop it up. And, in a kind of way that only we can do, in the SABJ kind of way. And I'll be honest with you, I've done a lot of stuff, and I'm thankful for everything that I've been able to do thus far. But I am so excited to sit with the SABJ, Triana, and, we're just man, I had a call with Joyce Taylor yesterday, and it was like briefly, and half the call I was like kind of starstruck. She was like, "Oh, we could do this." I was like, okay.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Oh, I can't believe it is already here. Here we go. Folks are going to have their opportunity to hear all from you. 90 minutes. I love that uncouth. You're like, look, we only as we can do.
Come on, only as we can do it.
Yeah, I love it, man. Here we are. A great event tomorrow.
All right, so let's get the funky stuff out the way. First, Governor Ginsley yesterday, he addressed the state right there with his wife and told everybody, it's like, man, you're going to have to put Thanksgiving on pause.
Well, Joyce, Governor Jay Inslee with his wife Trudy by his side spoke directly to the state's citizens tonight in a rare address from his office, pleading, urging for folks to hold off on big holiday celebrations this Thanksgiving, saying it would be an act of love for the state. The Insleys say because of this third wave of COVID-19, they'll have virtual celebrations with their grandchildren this year, and they're encouraging everyone to limit holiday celebrations to immediate family members. Governor Inslee says the weekly average case numbers have doubled in just the past 2 weeks. He says new restrictions could be announced next week to reduce interactions out in public. But tonight, the Insleys are calling on everyone to rethink their plans for Thanksgiving, which is 2 weeks from tonight.
We are in as dangerous a position today as we were in March. We're in a period of what's called exponential growth, and every single day matters. We cannot wait until our hospitals' halls are lined with gurneys waiting for rooms before we take decisive action.
Governor Jay Inslee says the good news is, thanks to therapeutics and the promise of a vaccine, the 2020 holidays may be unique, and he thinks that the holiday traditions will be able to continue in 2021. Both the governor and Trudy Inslee said that what happens next for the state really depends on what happens within your home and within your family. Live in Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
All right, Governor Inslee's laying the smackdown, and last time he gave one of these warnings, he was like, "Hey guys, don't do this," and then people did whatever, and then the next week he was like, "Okay, we're closing this, we're closing that." Real interesting to say that he said it hasn't been this bad since March. March is when the morning update show started, so we could tell our community about what was going on with COVID. It looks like the whole country, though, Trey Holiday, is taking a step backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we said, honestly, this has really been predicted. We knew the cold weather would cause these spikes. I mean, it is already mixed in with the flu season that we're used to that also kills many people. And so it is a real conundrum right now. Oh, and I think it's smart for Governor Inslee, honestly, to try to step in front of this before, again, it gets astronomical in a way that we do not want to see.
All right, and fresh off the press here, Ginsley issues travel advisory for Washington State. Governor Jay Inslee issued a travel advisory for Washington today, recommending a 14-day quarantine for interstate and international travel and asked residents to stay close to home. Inslee joined California Governor Newsom and Oregon Governor Kate Brown in urging visitors entering the state or returning home from travel outside of these states to self-quarantine to slow the spread. Basically, Governor Inslee saying if you've left Washington State or if you're coming in here from overseas or anything else, you need to post up for 14 days. It's serious business. And this came out, you see, he ain't say this last night in his address. This came out this morning, fresh off the press. So we'll keep an eye on it. But like he said, for sure, it's going to be a unique holiday season. Talking about the governor and some of these other things here. This is the Crosscut. This is David Crowman. Go check this out. Washington considers narrowing its eviction moratorium. As we know, it's lots of people that are under the eviction moratorium there. The Crosscut, they profile some people who are like really working every day, but they just can't pay their bills. But what a lot of landlords are saying is like, look, man, there's some people we know they can't pay their bills. There's some people who just ain't paying their rent. And so they really want to be able to take action for people who they feel is can pay their rent, but it's not paying their rent. But no matter what, when this moratorium is up, it's going to be an eviction tsunami.
Well, this is something that the people on the ground are like, look, we are preparing ourselves for this. There's a lot of tenant union work happening that really is inspiring. Because, folks are banding together, taking over their apartment buildings. They are standing in solidarity with one another as neighbors to say, this pandemic has affected us all. And I think that, there are some landlords who may be right. Some people may be trying to take advantage of the system, but I don't think that that is the majority of what we're seeing out here when we talk about folks who may be up for evictions. And so to see, again, people will band together when, they have no other choice. And I think it's going to be a lot of work in terms of the sheriff's offices of all of the counties throughout Washington State to really see that through and actualize these evictions. And, if we start seeing the people band together more and more and come together and say, we can't do this. You're basically trying to put us all out on the street. That's going to be another huge wave. You're absolutely right.
Right. Well, the flip side of it is a lot of times when people think of like rent and things like that, we think of the big, huge companies that own massive apartment buildings. But there's a lot of mom and pops who, that rent is how they're paying their mortgage. They might have a second home and they're renting out their home. And so, there is a flip side of the coin as well, is that there's no relief for property owners who own the property, and that income there might be actually how they're paying their mortgage because they're not getting mortgage relief. So definitely something that needs to be looked at. But we've covered this story quite a few times. There's quite a few lawsuits in federal court right now to have the state of Washington remove the moratorium. Moving along, last night, Julia Jesse and Mike Davis got together. They did some political analysis as usual. People always like to tune in and check them out. You can go to our Facebook page or to our YouTube page and you can see the whole show. It's about an hour and a half, talked about some of everything there from election fraud to, what Black people can expect from this administration and somewhere in between. Anyways, this is Mike Davis and Julia Jesse when the name Stacey Abrams came up in the conversation last night.
Stacey Abrams is the real MVP. She is the GOAT. Let me tell you something. If Stacey Abrams went through the trenches of Georgia, all those little rural towns, and galvanized all these people That is the only reason the Democrats got Georgia, is because of her hard work. Her and her team went in the trenches. They went to all those little tiny towns and spoke to all those people to say, this is what needs to happen and this is how it needs to happen. She's the GOAT. She's the real MVP.
Mike Davis, Stacey Abrams.
I echo most of what Julia said. I never would have thought that Georgia would have got flipped. Like, that's crazy. She made that happen. Now, what I want to see is that Joe Biden phone call. I want him to call her, and don't just thank her, man. Black folks, man, we're tired of these empty thank yous, we don't want no pats on the back. Hire her. She should have a job, man. She should be working for you right now. Like, we don't need no empty thanks, none of that. She should be working for his campaign. That's all I got to say about that.
Please, I don't think she should be working for the campaign. Stacey Abrams is a boss. Well,
she said I read today that she said that she plans to run again for governor, but until then, she should have a job.
No, they should be figuring out how to infuse capital so that she can win. She don't need to work for nobody. She is a boss hog. Like, she don't need to do nothing.
She got to do something until the next election. She still got to eat. Julia, what's she going?
Election is like 2 years. You got to be running for it.
Like, she can't work for 2 years and then go run again.
Listen, Stacey is an influencer right now. You don't think they calling her like, hey, Stacey, woo, woo, woo. She is in a leadership position all of her own.
So good conversation there last night. About what are your thoughts about Stacey Abrams, Triana?
I love how their conversation took these different sides, because honestly, I could see both sides. When you talk about a lot of the work that's on the ground, it actually is done from the outside. To Julia Jesse's point, I understand, because Stacey Abrams, as a boss, as a GOAT, being connected to these communities and staying engaged with them so that they're a part of the political process in their communities, I think is a great way for her to be doing work. I think she is probably having no shortage of philanthropy that wants to donate to any organization that she's lifting up right now or that she's leading in that regard. And I think that she showcased what it means to be connected, what it means to be engaged, and what it means to actually bring in the voices of the people. So I would say that I understand where Mike is coming from in terms of like, hey, Joe needs to thank her with the job. But I also think that what Joe can do is utilize his political power and influence to make sure that there is a spot for her when she's ready to bring it into the political sphere. But until then, support whatever work she has going on to keep these kinds of communities engaged.
All right, man. I see the green room is full back there. We got Bad Habit Media just logged on too. What's up, guys? What we're gonna do? We gotta keep it moving along. Kel told me that he has a call with the CEO of like Universal Sony Records or something here in a few minutes. He's like, oh man, you gotta keep me on the clock, fam. So we're gonna jump into something right here. And before we end this segment, I got 2 clips with Little O. Likes to go by Omi now. And so we hadn't checked in with O on the struggle mills. We've been checking in with O, seeing how the struggle, O, when we first moved in his apartment there in Chicago, my son Omar, he goes by Omi. He said that, he's cooking struggle meals, but without the struggle. You feel me? And so we've been checking in with him, and some of them struggle meals look horrible. But he totally surprised me last night when he was telling me about his recent issue with struggle meals, and he almost burnt down his house. We haven't checked in with you for a while on the struggle meals. Last time, I'll be honest with you, some of the pictures of the meals that you sent looked like the struggle was real.
Okay. But, the spaghetti was not my fault. You took it before I added more sauce. That's why it didn't look as good. It was all right. No, go ahead.
No. So anyways, I'm checking back in with you, man. People always want to know, how are the struggle meals without the struggle going?
Well, almost accidentally set the kitchen on fire the other day. 100% my fault. I will say that. I was trying to cook some fries, right? Not fries, chips. Because I was feeling fancy. I went to the market. I bought some tiny little potatoes. I was chopping them up, thinking like, okay. And I'm assuming you just put some grease in a pan, throw the fries in there, let it cook. Fries, right? No, that's not what happened at all. I go to put in the second batch. I don't know if some water dripped in or what, but started a grease fire, burned the kitchen.
Well, Hold on, what do you mean by burning the kitchen?
Burned whole set of cabinets, burned the fan that goes above the oven. That don't work no more. The pan was perfectly fine though, like completely undamaged, which is the wild part. But yeah, so
that's why it's called cast iron. It's kind of difficult to damage.
Yeah, no. But so the fire happens. Obviously, I think first thought, let's pour some water on this, right? Fun fact, you don't want to pour water on a grease fire. It just made it 10 times worse. So it went back up. So then I rush in, grab the pan, pour it down the sink. Then we had to clean up everything that got burned. Yeah, so that happened.
So does your landlord know about the fire?
No, not at all.
So he might know now.
I mean, if he tunes in, he's a really busy dude. Hopefully he doesn't.
Yeah, we don't need that viewership. Well, I'm assuming you got a plan to fix everything, so I'll leave it in your hands.
Yeah, without a doubt.
This guy, you know what I'm saying? I be worried about him sometimes. He said he's getting it together though, but we'll see. His struggle meals, he's still struggling.
I mean, water on the oil. I mean, come on. It's really his kitchen 101. We're going to have to make sure that he gets those kitchen 101 lessons.
Man, we're going to have to start just sending him top ramen. But something that was really cool when I talked to O as well is we went back down memory lane because you remember yesterday we put up this clip from 2011 from where over in Tanzania. But when I was looking through the archives, I also found a clip there of O, and I got an opportunity to remind him yesterday of this big giving heart that he has. All right. Well, listen, before I let you go, we went back down memory lane earlier in the morning update show when I was doing a press conference with Miriam there at Push Observer in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And they share with the audience that O came down that summer 2011, and we were there in Tanzania. And our office was right across the street from this school, and the school was pretty beat up, but there was a dirt field, and none of the kids had soccer balls there, and so they were just kind of kicking whatever they could, basically kick the can. O had a small job around the office, run do this, run do that. And it was crazy because the last day before, the day we were leaving, flying back to the U.S., O took the money that he earned from working around the office, and he went and bought soccer balls for the kids at the school across the street from our office.
One will just take on behalf of the right. So you can just your favorite one. That's your favorite one? Yeah. Never get to read you I'll give you. Lakini mnachezea wote. Mwingine apokee. Halo, rudi nyuma kidogo. Okay, nataka kwako. Toa kwa rudi nyuma hivi. Toa kwa unachezea wote. Hadi wapige makofi tuambie asante. Asante. Mungu awabariki. Mungu awabariki.
Man, that's wild. They were saying thank you and blessings upon you. Man, I wanted to play that for you, while I have you here as just a reminder, like, man, your whole life, you just been somebody who's been all about giving. That was 9 years ago, and you continue upon that path. I just want to acknowledge that big heart you got.
Appreciate that, Dad. That means a lot. But I get that from you and Mom. Y'all raised me in occasion to be like that, to always try to give back and help people in need, because there's no reason not to,
Man, that's what's up. Well, look, we miss you around here, and can't wait until there's another break and you're back here, and get back on the morning show set for a few days, everything else. But I just want to tell you I'm proud of you and I love you, son.
Love you too, Dad.
So that was O last night.
Aww. Oh, come on now. You gotta love that. I mean, this great intergenerational family of giving. You know what I'm saying? I go back to your mother because I think she's such a powerful force in the community, and I have that connection with her and seeing how she gives to the community, seeing how you give, seeing how your son's giving. I love that. And it's such a great way that you have all of these amazing things in your archives. Oh, because you've always had that camera on the ready. I also love that, bro.
There it is. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we got Kel finna talk about Truly Unruly and some of the other stuff he's got going on. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
My parents coming over here as refugees meant that they didn't really have anything when they came to America. Having reliable healthcare and having a reliable doctor was really important. Cộng đồng của tôi, trạm y tế của tôi.
我的社区，我的诊所。Mi comunidad, mi clínica.
بلشدة هي بقارها.
My community, my clinic.
The bass always hits. Kel!
How we doing?
What's up, Kel? Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Update Show.
Thank you for having me. I heard that I guess I was going to be talking to like some CEO of a record label here in the next half hour or so.
I was telling Kel, I said, well, Kun's up right after you. I said, we could do the Kun and Kel show. Kel was like, man, I'm on the clock, bro.
Like my Mondays and Fridays are just absolutely crazy. So I'm just happy that you guys had time to even just get me on and we can do this. Next time, though, I definitely got to get on when Kun's on, because I don't know if you know this, but Kun is actually responsible for the reason I have the career that I have. Oh, there he is. There's my OG. So Kun is the reason I even have a resume to even get in the door to do radio. And I don't think a lot of guys around town give Kun the respect that he deserves in that light, because he put a lot of people on. And for me to live the amazing life I live now, I give that all up to Kun, because he lived literally like around the corner from me on Othello. And that's been my man since 2001.
It's funny you say that. You're there at 92.5 because you're based at Gordon over at Cube 93. You say the same thing.
Yeah. Kun's opened a lot of doors for a lot of us. And for me to be, I want to say, the first Black music director in Seattle ever, especially on a major Marconi winning radio station, you don't really hear that too much, especially in Seattle. So I definitely give my if I ever make it into the Hall of Fame of anything, Kun will definitely be the guy that I give the congrats and the thank you to. So
man, that means a lot to me, man. I mean, honestly, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I never thought about it like that, because I just want to rock with my people, and we just move forward. And if somebody said, hey, Kun, I want to do this, even if they had never done it before, I just had a unique talent for being able to see that they had the potential to really make it happen. And I just gave them a spot. And I think that sometimes it worked out. I mean, most of the time, 99% of the time it worked out. There's maybe a couple people that came through C-Spot somehow, and it didn't work out for them. But you, Bass, Carlos Imani, Jamar Joe, like in every type of entertainment piece around here, a lot of people came through these doors, man. And I was just glad to put people on. And honestly, I was telling Joe Jesse that sometimes I think some of the things we were doing got pushed back because there was a learning curve, right? So if I had to tell somebody, go do this or that, and it didn't get done right, I was more patient to say, okay, well, that's fine. But you learned You was able to take that to the next level, and that's what matters. The thing about you, Kel, one of my best memories about you is when I pulled up on you at your mom's house with your C-Spot jersey, right? Because remember we had the C-Spot jerseys, and I pulled up on you, and man, you was wearing it every day to school. Like you was really wrong for this, man. I appreciate it.
Here's what's crazy about that is I still have that C-Spot jersey. I always post. It's in plastic. It's in plastic with my airbrush Aaliyah shirt. I know you remember when me and Big Shad were rocking those. Remember that?
Yeah.
Days? Yeah. And I used to rock that jersey with so much pride because it, especially in the Black community in Seattle at that time, it was C-Spot or nothing. And if you were part of C-Spot, you were it. And the thing was, I was the young cat. You know what I'm saying? So like I was the 15, 16-year-old cat with the C-Spot jersey, and only a few cats in the town had those. So if you had one, you had that brand stamped on you.
That stamp.
Yeah,
I'm really, you know what, Kel? I just say this, man, is that I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of really, we got a nice incubator here. That's what I was gonna say is that we had kind of like the first incubator. You know how they have all these different kind of tech incubators now, and the Impact Hub, and they have all these people that come in and they, the work lofts and all of that. We had the first kind of urban Black spot where young people could come in and learn, and then take that and run with it. And I'm so proud of the fact that everybody ran with it. Well, and every now and then, O pulls out one of his archives, like O was putting together a lot of stuff, man. I mean, and we can go on and talk about, and I'm sure that he'll bring it up on Saturday about how we most certainly do all of this video work now, and Converge is amazing, but people need to really understand that O had us on a real network server. We used to have to encode the video. Like, I mean, we were just groundbreaking, man, and you were a part of that. Everybody was a part of that, and I'm just proud to still be here for some of those flowers. You know what I mean?
Well, look, this is why they call it Feel Good Friday, and this is we couldn't have put this together any better. We're gonna put you back in the green room. But another name to remember that's out here on this platform as well is Julia Jesse, and Julia Jesse tracks back to you as well. Yeah, we'll catch you in a minute, cuz. Man, I'm saying it's just.
That's man.
You know, we were putting the show together earlier. There was some other stories, and I was telling Nikki Barron, I said, we're going to remove all those other stories today. We're going to be on our positive track. Let's jump in here and make up some time for you. Truly Unruly. Well, first of all, I did a proper introduction. You're over at 92.5 Movin FM. You're on air over there. You're music director, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you make sure and check out. Okay. And what hour, what time, what's your slot over there?
So I'm on, I do afternoon drive. So I'm on from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm the music director also, which means all the music, everything you hear that comes out of the speakers comes through me and my PD. If your song is getting played on Movin, it's probably because me and my boss did the research and we were like, okay, we're going to play your record. So, it's interesting. I never thought I'd see myself in the place of programming top 40 radio, because I grew up a kid that used to record Cube 93 off of with tapes and stuff like that, and would travel with my family to New Orleans and would listen to radio in New Orleans and what have you. So I just never thought though I'd land in top 40. Which is weird, but
I'm gonna tell you, we shining. We're shining all over. Believe me, it's a lot. All we needed was an opportunity. Truly Unruly. So I want to play this clip here a little bit here in a second. But Truly Unruly, really dope podcast, is audio and video. The True Fonts were here with us the other day. That's Marcus Trufant. That name probably rings a bell for a lot of people. Former Seahawk. His wife Jessica Trufant. And man, when they were here in the studio, well, in our virtual studio, we asked them about Black love.
Like Black love, it's a movement. It is. We're here to showcase that Black love is here. It's beautiful. It's happy. It's not perfect, but it is that's our goal. Black love is everything. And we just want to encourage it, inspire it, and showcase it, really.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just give people the opportunity to see it in real time. You see stuff on social media, or you may know me from sports and stuff like that, but we are regular people doing normal family things with kids, the ups and downs, and you can get through it. And you gotta enjoy the ride, and it all starts with love. You gotta have that foundation, and we just trying to showcase the normalness of our everyday.
Right, and we're Black.
Man, we had such a good time with the True Funds. Tell us a little bit more about the Truly Unruly podcast.
So the Truly Unruly podcast it's interesting how this all came together, because I didn't know the True Funds prior to this. But through a mutual connection of ours, a buddy came to me and said, "Hey man, a guy I work with," he goes, "Hey, the True Funds want to do a podcast about just their family." And I've had under my belt years of producing and production and audio, all that stuff for, now maybe 13, 14 years. And it was one of those things where I was like, Black love, we can show Black love while at the same time showing that this family is relatable. They're like the rest of us. They don't take themselves too serious. And it's just, I don't know. It just all just kind of falls together. I know they may have told you this, but a lot of people have said that they should have a reality show, and they should. I mean, I go over there every week, and, me and my team, we set up, and they're just camera on, even or when the camera's off. It's just, they are just hilarious. And they're just, I don't know, it's like sitting with your cousins or your brother and your sister, and you're just talking about life. So, I mean, it's amazing. We're having a good time. It's a beautiful thing. And it's showing, especially in the times we live in, shedding light on the positive Black family, because that exists. And that doesn't get displayed to the public enough, especially with a family like theirs, which has a unique situation of a former NFL star. They have 5 kids, which is a whole nother story within itself. And then, his amazing wife. So, I mean, I don't know, it's been a blast. It's fun. I don't want to say I'm the mastermind behind it, because I'm not going to take all that credit, because their life is their life. But I mean, all those questions that you hear me ask, I mean, that all comes from me. That's all things that I wonder about. People send us in questions, and I ask them questions that listeners and viewers want to know. We talk about their love language. We just get really, really personal.
Speaking of that, Kel, I mean, in watching it, you're always asking the kind of questions that seems to open Marcus up. And what I talked to Marcus about is he makes himself vulnerable here on the podcast. Let's take a look.
Because there's a lot of people that have, they've been married for 5-6 years, and they don't know how to keep that flame.
Oh, no.
And you guys are really good at keeping that.
Thank you.
That's goals.
That's my worst nightmare, though, is to wake up and be like, or have that feeling towards me. So I know that I work. I want to make sure that I'm giving her everything she needs. So, right. I mean, it's not always physical.
You're so
yeah, it's everything else that comes with it too, and just to
ditto. Shall I cry?
She's making fun of me, but I've been working on it all, speaking my feelings, letting it be known, etc. Because going back, I don't really come from that. I didn't really have that training, as I wasn't that type of guy. Is everything keep everything evenly keeled? Everything with sports, not too high, not too low, and
I could have done your whole line. Not too high, not too low. Keep it that's his thing. Yeah. Not too high, not too low. He's always even keeled, and sometimes I need a high. I need you to get pumped, get crunk. One of every kid that we had, yay, here's your baby. He's like, all right, right on. And I'm like, dude.
But inside.
And where did Kel go? Kel disappeared on us. Kel,
Sorry
we're
about that.
live. You can't be.
I'm sorry. See,
You can't be going to get sandwiches. You can't be going to get sandwiches during your clips.
Like I said, it never stops. Like, this is the life of working at a radio station. It never stops. But
I know, man.
Yeah, I wanted to just say and throw my question in here is that what I'm loving, and I wanted to ask your opinion about this, is this explosion of Black creativity we're seeing up here in the Pacific Northwest, specifically in Seattle. I think that there's been this misnomer that all of this kind of stuff has to happen in LA, Atlanta, New York, in these hubs, right? Like that's where more Black people are. So that's where that energy and activity is congregated. And, seeing your podcast and this explosion again, I want to just ask you, how does it feel to be a part of that kind of movement up here?
It feels good. Someone like myself, I'm what's the word? I'm a popular loner. So I'm a little different than most folks up here. So I don't know, I kind of move silently and just do my thing. But then like I've started to see like things like start to bubble and people start to actually like come together and want to work together, because I'm born and raised here. And I'll be honest with you, there's been a lot of, everybody wants to be the chief and not enough Indians, and no one wants to get behind each other. And I've just seen in the last like 5 years or so, I've definitely started to see like things begin to grow, and to just myself to be a part of that is like awesome. It's amazing, because I mean, you didn't for a long time, you really didn't have a lot of that, so it's awesome to have something like you guys' platform to have Converge, to be able to, spread all of this, Black creativity, which I think is amazing. And I think it's good for the community. It's good for our people. And it's good for media.
That's what's up. Before we let you go, I see that you're busy over there. That's the thing, man. You're a big boss over there, man. So I know that your time is limited. So from our side, I'll explain to everybody, starting this Sunday at 8:00, and we're starting from episode number 1 for Truly Unruly. And you'll catch that right here across wherever you're watching us right now. You'll be able to see Truly Unruly with the True Fonts every Sunday at 8 p.m. But Kel, for the people who like to binge and get caught up in everything else, where else can they watch and can they listen to Truly Unruly?
You can watch Truly Unruly on YouTube. Just head over to Marcus Trufont's channel on YouTube. You can also listen to us on Podcast One, Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Do all of the above: like, subscribe, review. Because we want to make this thing grow. We got a beautiful thing here. And one thing I just want to touch on real quick was that clip you saw of Marcus and him expressing his emotions and feelings and how he's trying to become better at that. I'm a guy that grew up going to a lot of therapy. So I asked the open-ended questions, because there's a thing in our community, especially for Black men, where you're not supposed to be emotional and you're not supposed to be in touch with your feelings, because if you are, that shows that you're not in control, or you're emotional, or you can't control your feelings. But to be able to express who you really are, how you really feel, what bothers you, what makes you happy, it gives you a sense of freedom. And I've noticed that just with Marcus and the episodes that we've done so far, from where we started. You'll see from the first episode until where we're at now, you'll see the evolution and the evolving and the change. And it is just such a beautiful thing. So follow us on Instagram, trulyunruly_podcast. Of course, follow Jessica Trufant. She's Fab5 Mom. Marcus _Trufant. Follow me at Radio Kells. And then just to all the Black people in the Seattle area and in the community, like I know I'm a popular loner, but I am here to help everyone and anyone that wants to take themselves to the next level, that wants to collaborate, that just wants to do great things and great stuff. Like, I am here, a resource to help y'all do that. So don't think that because I'm the Black dude over at the Top 40 station that, I don't want to, do stuff for my people and for my community, because it is the complete opposite. So,
Kels, I just got one mission for you.
Yeah.
Keep making us proud.
That's all I can do.
There it is, man. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we got the big fella, Chukundi Salisbury. You're watching the Morning Update Show. Hey, what's up? Omari Salisbury here with the reminder I'll be talking with Joyce Taylor from King 5 later this month. It's an online fundraiser for the Seattle Association of Black Journalists called Black Voices Matter. Behind the Lines with me, Omari Salisbury. We're going to talk about inspiration, covering the demands for change in Seattle and what that looks like for journalists going forward. It's Saturday, November 14th from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Tickets are only $10, $5 for students, and you can find that link by checking out whereweconverge.com and on our social media at WWConverge on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you want to learn more about the SABJ, which you should, head to sabjonline.com. All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. And before we go to you, Cut, I see we got Bad Habit Media. They're back there. I see you guys see me back there in the green. Okay, they're waving, so we're good to go. Welcome back. I've got my big brother here, and you know what a feel good Friday. I mean that did eat up a lot of our clock, but what a great conversation with Kel and Kun. How are you, Kun?
Man, I can't be any more better. I mean, after that, you know what I mean? To hear my youngins talk about me, and then how great these youngins have gone and how far they gone. I mean, how can I be anything but happy right now, man? It definitely is a feel-good Friday.
Fantastic. We're going to jump right into it. And I will say this, you wasted no time. No grass is growing under your feet. I know that this is a project that we're talking about right here, the Little Big Fella, the comic book is something you've been working on for a while. But we just had you on here a week ago. You said, hey, man, you know what? Election is what it is. Let's go. And so that being said, tell us what is, I'll put the graphic up here. What is Little Big Fella all about?
You know, it's the adventures of Little Big Fella, and really it's just about representation matters. You know, it's Black Boy Joy, Black Girl Magic. These are classic coming-of-age stories about, how we all have crisis of conscience as young people, especially in middle school where you want to fit in, and it's really hard to do the right thing sometimes. Little Big Fella and his friends are always faced with challenges where they are forced to step up. And in this particular premiere issue, there's definitely some things that are so relevant to right now that happened to Little Big Fella and his crew throughout this issue. But again, it's really about how our young people, specifically, especially young Black kids, first of all, oftentimes are in places where they're just pulled in different directions. There's a complete duality of being just being a young person right now, where you have, these group of adults saying one thing, these group of adults saying another thing. You got your friends, what are they gonna think? And so that's just Little Big Fella just navigates those challenges of life, like we all did as kids. And our comic book is about redemption and bringing people and community together. Spoiler alert: it always ends in a great way. People are happy, right? It is a feel-good story. I'll put it that way.
Trey Holiday?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so, again, when you talk about when we saw that talk between you and Kel earlier and just your connection to community, this is taking that, I think, to a whole other level. Once again, I think what you were talking about in terms of how C-Spot was so innovative, is that a lot of that spirit, that same innovation that you're bringing now into this work with the Adventures of Little Big Fella?
Yeah, you know what, Trey? What it is, honestly, is that, one of the things I like to tell people all the time is God gives everybody great ideas, right? And the question is, who's going to execute on them? Who's going to be prepared? I thought about this idea almost over 3 years ago. I wrote it down, and I just kind of worked on it and, got my trademarks and everything right. And then I'm just in a position to just go. And that's how it's been with a lot of things. I've just been blessed to have good ideas, and then the people around me, or the ability to activate people around me to bring my vision to reality. In this particular case, I'm most certainly not, the artist. Like, I didn't draw this, right? And I helped develop the story. I'm like Stan Lee. So I went out and I brought in writers, I brought in inkers and colorists and the actual artists and the like, and I'm able to put this product out. But it's definitely just being able to bring people together. That's that skill set from having, C-Spot over the years and everything else. But what I will say about the comic is, one of the things that really had me thinking about this and the challenges is doing the African American Males Weekend and the African American Females Weekend at Camp Orkila and Camp Coleman. And I would see, because I'm in my cabin and I would be kind of fake sleep and we'd be listening to the kids in my cabin, they're 9, 10, 11, 12, and what they're talking about. And the challenge is why some kids is trying to be tough and they're not. And some kids, they'll break down and tell you about what's going on with their family there's just so many things. And I say, you know what? Our kids need representation and we need to have something that looks like them and it's fun though, right? Because we get so many things. We got all these kind of rap videos. Everybody's hard, right? This comic book shows it gives a chance for young people to see themselves represented in a real way. And I'm just, like I said, I couldn't be more excited about it. I'm off to the races.
All right, Kun, look, before we let you go, tell everybody how they can catch up and get this first edition and probably subscribe, get future editions of The Adventures of Little Big Fella. We already know that if people call you, you're actually delivering, you're meeting people, but what are the different ways that you're making it accessible?
I can't leave the streets alone, man. That's my problem. I pulled up on your people up at 23rd and 23rd and Jackson yesterday, sold a bunch of comics to NYA and a whole bunch of people. But that being said, you can just go to littlebigfella.com. That's LILBIGFELLA, littlebigfella.com. And you can order a copy. And, we're doing a special collector's item pack where I've got the sign. You get the poster and you get obviously the book and you get it signed and everything. And then we've got these stickers that also, kids and adults, everybody loves stickers on their water bottles and laptop. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm loving it. And I appreciate the opportunity, Converge. You're doing everything that we need right now. This is lovely. Thank you.
All right, Kun. Thank you. Appreciate you. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we got Bad Habit Media, and they're talking about Shelterfest. All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. I think that I'm trying to think. That was one of our tracks over here. How you doing, Chad? Now this is Feel Good Friday. I'm glad we kicked a lot of that bad news out the show today. You know what I'm saying? This is really how Friday should feel here on the Morning Update Show.
Yeah, absolutely. You are really taking me back to the original ways that we had this show produced, because you always made sure that we ended the week on such a positive, light note. And I'm loving hearing all of this amazing stuff happening in our community. Honestly, great show today.
So I think we got Cosmo and we got Lorenzo, Bad Habit Media. But I'm going to be honest, guys, I can't bring you in unless you're committed to a Feel Good Friday. Can we get a thumbs up from you back there? Okay, they're giving me the thumbs up. You're ready for a Feel Good Friday. What's happening? How are you? Welcome to the Morning Update Show.
Omari, Trey, thank you so much for having us. We're so thankful to be here.
Hey, good morning, y'all.
So, man, we're happy to have you here. Thank you for taking some time. Tell us, Shelterfest is this weekend. Everybody's talking about it. It's lots of artists, lots of food. You know, I'm around the artists all the time, but when I seen the food out there, I'm like, I got to make a commitment to it. Tell everybody what's Shelterfest all about.
Sure thing. Shelterfest Seattle is an online benefit music festival supporting Black artists and restaurant owners in our region. We're doing that by putting together a virtual main stage on our website, shelterfestseattle.com. You tune in this weekend, 6 to 8 p.m. You'll see performances from amazing, incredible Black artists in our region, hosted by Nikita Oliver and JC Cage. And you can also order food directly from Black-owned restaurants through these virtual food trucks that we've got listed on the page. Make a selection. You might even be able to enjoy it while you watch the show. The whole thing is free to stream. If you want to tune in, you can. But we're encouraging people to invest in the Seattle Artist Relief Fund, which is an incredible mutual aid effort, which I'm sure you're all aware of. Been doing incredible work, but they still need a ton of money to get through all the applicants on their wait list. So that's one of the main goals, but we're also encouraging people to support the talent directly. We're providing payment links and, of course, order through those food trucks.
They had me record a bumper. Producer Nikki Barron goes hard. Her and she sent Bobby Stills in here. He put me in a headlock for like 20 minutes until I got it right. And so when you're watching Shelterfest, you're gonna see me pop up and say, "Hey, don't forget to donate, order takeout, and share the stream." and people can actually watch Shelterfest right here where they see it, everything, where they're watching Converge Media right now. Tell us a little bit about some of the artists that are going to be performing.
Man, I mean, wow. We're so lucky to have worked with, all the artists on there. I mean, to name a few, Tiffany Wilson. For those who know, For those who don't know, you got to get on that. Tiffany Wilson is a gem up here, and we didn't know about her until the festival.
Shameful.
It is shameful. A lot of the artists that we didn't really know about, and we've learned about through this festival. Barax, man, you're gonna have to tune in on day 2 to see that show, because that is one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life, and it was just for our small film crew when we were there. Just raw rock and roll in its truest form. Shayna Shepherd is, I mean, you guys know Shayna. You know.
We saw the interview.
Yeah, we know Shayna. So I'm gonna show you guys. Every time that Shayna comes on the show, you know what happens? People like you disappear, and then people like
Black Girl Magic.
And then the Black Girl Magic pops up, and it's just Trey Holiday and Shayna Shepherd. And now the other thing is, of course, you mentioned some food trucks and things like that, but also, Eduardo Jordan is going to be there. The other Trey Lamont from the Jerk Shack is going to be around. Like, it's going to be an epic weekend. But this is really an opportunity for people to be entertained. Come on, watch the stream. Come on to Converge Media. You'll watch it and check it out. But let's do something. Let's push the needle. You know what I'm saying? In everybody, I know everybody's tight right now. It just is. But this is really a good cause. And you're really getting something for it as well. You're getting world-class entertainment. It's a great audio and visual. Have an opportunity to support small businesses and some of everything else, man. And, before I let you guys go, here's your pitch one more time to be able to tell people why they need to tune in to Shelterfest this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like we've been talking about, community support is really the key right now. We're just not seeing anywhere near the support that we need from the government to keep the arts sector alive in Seattle, and to support people that, after the pandemic might not be around doing the things that they love to do if we don't step in and do something. So Shelterfest is a way to showcase some of the fantastic work that's going on in the art scene. The chefs, the musicians are just steadily creating beautiful art. And we're here to promote and amplify that, but also, to funnel direct financial support. So we make sure that the community is cared for, and that we actually, get through to the other side, and we have the scene that we love so much in our city. So that's one of the main reasons that we're trying to tune in this weekend.
All right. Well, like I said, people can check you guys out right here, can check out Shelterfest right here, wherever you're watching Converge Media. And we want to encourage people to definitely support. We have to support our artists and our small businesses. And I want to thank Cosmo, and want to thank Lorenzo and Bad Habit Media for what you guys are doing in elevating, especially elevating these Black artists and these Black businesses here in Seattle. So thank you. And I look forward to catching up with you guys and seeing what other things we can collaborate on.
For real. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it's an honor to be on the show.
All right, we're going to take a short break right now. And actually, we got the Shelterfest commercial. When we come back, Jake Gravbrot, the mastermind with the camera, we got a piece that he did on Seattle-based MC D. Mikey. Yo, that Shelterfest ad is like high powered, huh?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm like, we really have some dope ads right now too. I mean, the whole production is just super lifting. Every break, I'm like, I'm jamming.
Man, there's so much stuff that's going on with Converge and everything around us this weekend as well. So, Jake Gravbrot back at it. People really have an affinity for some of these pieces that Jake is putting together and his photos. He's documented not only, I know a lot of people tuned in and followed his photos around the Seattle protest, but I mean, Jake's eye and his creative eye in that camera, the shots that he does just of Seattle and people and lifestyle is definitely amazing. It's a blessing to have him on the team here. He's got a piece here. Jake is big in the music scene, and Friday is our music day. So we cut another piece here. The Seattle-based MC D. Mikey. Jake sat down with D. Mikey to talk about his upcoming record, Lunch Break. It's going to be due out on all platforms later on this month on the 20th. So basically, I guess you would say that D. Mikey's kind of like a soft-spoken lyricist and considered one of Seattle's best kept secrets. So that's a good thing if we give him some exposure. But Jake's kind of feeling that D. Mikey's not going to be a secret for long after he drops his new project on BOC Music. I'd say that his lyrics, it's an effortless flow. Lots of samples, uses lots of sample heavy music, some everything else. We're going to play this clip right here. This is Jake Gravbrot and his profile of D. Mikey. And, we encourage people to make sure and check out the music when it releases on November 20th.
Back when music venues actually could host live shows, I worked for the Clockout Lounge on Beacon Hill. I was able to work side by side doing marketing for a ton of really great music. I worked with familiar spaces and also was exposed to a dearth of new music that I had yet to experience. One of these new artists was Seattle-based MC D. Mikey, who performed on one of our Sunday nights, hosted and curated by founder of Concuss and local hip-hop head Rob Castro. When I first dove into D. Mikey's catalog, I knew Seattle had something special with this guy. Fast forward to this odd year that 2020 has become, and D. Mikey is back with a new record set to release next Friday, the 20th of November, titled Lunch Break. It's an 8-song whirlwind filled with his trademark laid-back flow over sample-heavy beats. We sat down this last week and talked about the new record and why he prefers to create music that just allows you to find an escape in it, rather than diving too deep into the political dialogue that has dominated 2020. Let's check it out.
Alright, here we go. Smooth nigga, how I'm rolling like it's stolen. If I got it and you want it, just believe I drop the price up. Group rolling, see the balance in the open. If you open, I ain't throwing, cause we really got the run. I got the ball and keep it swift and fast. No, I be laid back, but be on my business. I bet they say that. That bitch trying to figure where I say.
It's only 8 tracks? What is it?
Yeah, 8 tracks. That's why it's titled Lunch Break.
Yep.
Because it's like literally, you got like a 30-minute lunch break if you're working all day. And it's like probably runs out at like, I don't know, like 27. So you got time to get back to work.
I like that.
You know, all the joints on it. Some of them it was like kind of an experiment, I guess. Because some of the songs are like different to where like bladed, the way that hook is. I feel like it's like a practice on like trying to do some commercial shit or something.
Which is perfectly okay.
Yeah, but it's like this one has 3 different producers on it, which I usually just work with one producer at a time. I think it fits, like all the songs kind of like gradually they go together. And I like also co-produce all of them because like being in the studio where we were mixing, mastering, all of that shit.
There's excited lines though about it.
Exactly.
What's your favorite joint?
My favorite joint, it definitely changes. Right now, running, because there's times of like making music and stuff where you just want to talk shit. and so it's like more fun than like actually like it's more of like wordplay and like rather than like growth or puff pass to where it's like, all right, I have to actually like reflect and dig into an emotion. So I try to keep everything like relatable to me and like the people around me and stuff like that. Like the people I know, to where that's what you're gonna see if you see me. And so it's all like that's that dope feeling to where it's all like hope when people listen to my music, if you're at work, it's like, damn, I feel like I'm chilling. So it just kind of like relaxes it. And that's also why I don't be like getting that political with like the music, because it's like I'd rather have the music as like not necessarily a distraction, but like a kind of like a break from all of the intensity, all the intense energy that can come from the world and stuff like that, so if I don't know, I feel like if I'm just reminding you that like all the shit's going down and it's all like, you're already watching the news, you're already on Twitter, like this is already information that's like being more or less force-fed onto you, so it's not like, I'm not gonna be on here like,
you want to be able to just be an escape from that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all like, yo, like go on and drive and like, clear your mind and like, let's just talk about like some shit. Or like, let's talk about some, but like, let's escape from the heaviness of where everything's at. Like that, even if everything's all good, everybody has a bad day. Bad week, bad month.
Yeah.
And so
2020 bad year.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so it's all like, I'm not trying to add to people's bad day.
Yeah.
That's D Mikey right there. And see, the best thing is, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Jake Gravbrot, who continuously uses his talent and his cameras to elevate Black artists across Seattle, especially when they need it the most. You know what I'm saying? And so big shout out to him. Big shout out to Bobby Stills for putting the bleeps in there, because we could the online version. I don't think there's no bleep. I'm like, ooh, my mama gonna get on me. Put some bleeps up in here. But people can learn more about what we're doing. We're really doing what we can with what we have to be able to support artists here in Seattle, across the Northwest. You can go to whereweconverge.com/music. You can see a lot of profiles, or the stuff that Alia Dia Alessandro did for the Chop artists, and as well as some of the previous profiles that Jake Gravbrot has put together. You can find them there, whereweconverge.com/music. But it's the elevation of Black artists across the different genres, from a Shayna Shepherd to and a Bear Axe to a D Mikey.
Yeah, honestly, I love that. I love this is what I'm talking about. This explosion of exactly the nuggets, the gold nuggets we've always had right here. So much of the resilience of artistry in Seattle is that, hey, let's scrap it together mentality because we don't have major agents coming here looking for us. A lot of the record labels are not always coming through here. The grunge era, they brought those agents, and then the grunge era went like this, and those agents dried up. So again, I love that we right here on this platform are utilizing it to uplift the beautiful artistry we have.
I'm saying we got to do our part. I say it all the time. Ain't nobody coming to save us. We got to save ourselves, and we got to do everything that we can within our power to do that. Before we get out of here, Trey, I got a few things, and then we got some programming notes. One is we got a few new Patreons. And so we want to thank Roselle Williams and Kimberly Ambrose. Also, a big shout out to Tim Johnstone. Man, got your email. Going to email you back today. Appreciate your support on Patreon. Also, got to give a big shout out. This is the thing, and we're going to have to get her on the show. But I am still in touch and great friends with my elementary school teacher. You've heard me mention her before, Barbara Nielsen. And it is funny because Barbara Nielsen, all those years ago, Summit K-12. I mean, she was able to channel all this bubbling energy that I had, and she might even reference it as different than bubbly, but focus me on writing. And she's like, man, you can write, you can create. Had a little typewriter and everything. And as a young kid, I used to just be in there typing. And I hit her up the other day and told her, because last week was a big week, the stuff at Mohai and the thing on Como 4, and I sent her a message. And it's been decades, clearly, since I was in elementary school. And I thank Barbara Nielsen for this seed that she planted decades ago that's continuing to blossom. So Barbara Nielsen, big shout out to you, and big shout out to all those public school teachers who get overlooked, man, who planted those seeds, and these seeds continue to blossom in our community.
Absolutely. You got to love that. I mean, just the other day, somebody asked me about my humble beginnings, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. It was some teachers that planted some amazing seeds. And now it's great to hear back from them because they're loving how these seeds have grown. So again, I love that. We definitely need to get her on.
All right. Programming notes. We get again from your side, Trey.
Chats with Trey today at 2 p.m. As you know, I'm having a great chat with Hamdi. Worked on this amazing Equal Rights Day project with her, and that went out a while back. But again, always keeping that message alive. So Chats with Trey today at 2.
Chats with Trey today at 2:00. And man, let me take a deep breath so I can get through all of this good stuff we got going on. So tomorrow at 3:00, you already know where you'll find me. Tickets are still available. Go to eventbrite.com, put in my name. Tickets are only $10, $5 for students, and it's for a great cause. The Seattle Association of Black Journalists, Joyce Taylor, is coming here to the studio. And man, we're going to have a great conversation. So we've got that going on. Then, of course, right after that, from 6 to 8 on Saturday and Sunday, then you'll find Shelterfest. And the best thing is Sunday, you'll stick with us because at 8:00 on Sunday is episode 1 of Truly Unruly. So we got a lot of stuff going on over here at Converge. And man, really excited. We're here for it.
Yes, I'm definitely here for it. And I love this because I can almost get sentimental. I remember having so many late night discussions with you about the beauty of what Converge can do, because these ideas in terms of all of this programming, this is what's been in our community. So I love seeing all this programming on the Converge platform, bro. It's amazing.
There it is right there. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here in regards to, like I said, 2:00 today, Chats with Trey. Catch me live tomorrow at 3:00. But until Monday at 11 a.m. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Sing it again now. The victory is won. Victory is won.